Welcome to The Crow Show, with your hosts, VeracityTrigger and Zodiac.
Yeah, my whole thing says disconnected, so I don't think I have great quality at the moment. But, okay, so Walking Dead. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Yes, this is going to be great. But, yeah, here's the thing. You'll have to remind me a little bit of what happens sometimes in some of the episodes, because it's in my mind, I mash them all up together in one big long strand. I don't, think about, 2 or 3 episodes ago.
I'm bad about, especially the older seasons. I'm terrible with remembering what episode and what happened where.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I get bad with my timelines in my head sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like we were saying earlier, the show's been on for the better part of a decade.
I know. So I was asking. I was like, is this long? How many seasons is this? I mean, because the broken seasons make one, obviously.
Right.
You got the pre-Christmas and then after Christmas. They can't run it through Christmas because then it would just be weird, Thinking about Santa Claus and zombies, that doesn't really, you can't flip that coin.
I would love to see a Santa Claus zombie.
Well, I mean, in Futurama, they had the Saint Nick that was a robot killer, so they did have something like that.
They had the Hanukkah zombie in one episode.
They did?
They did.
No way.
Yep, the Hanukkah zombie.
Wow. I don't remember that one. Oh, man. I think there were a few episodes I did miss seeing. I couldn't see them for some reason. I think I was in Florida at the time. I couldn't see some of them. I think that could be the reason why.
I don't know. I watched it all on Netflix again and again. But...
Yeah, I think what I was going to do was I was going to wait until the entire season ends and then buy all the DVDs. But I kept getting pissed off every time the season ended because it was never the end of it was never the end of the show. So I couldn't, because I don't want to just buy, the season discs for that year. I want to get the whole box set, with all the, goodies, added into it and all that. You know what I mean?
Are you still talking Futurama or Walking Dead?
Walking Dead.
You're getting pissed off that it's never ending.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to end, but I don't.
I just want everyone to die, guys.
You all fucking die. No, I don't want them to die. Actually, I want them to survive. I mean, I am going to, and like I even told you, Zodiac, I'm going to be super, super pissed if Rosita dies. I might even stop watching the show. I might. I'm that close.
I am so sick of that character. Oh my god.
No, she can't die. She is super hot.
I am so glad somebody finally basically just told her to shut the fuck up in this last episode.
I saw that coming
weird
too.
part to me is that it was freaking Gabriel.
I know, and I saw that and I'm like, yeah, he makes a good point there, Makes a good point.
One of my least favorite characters did one of the things I've been waiting for somebody to do for 3 episodes.
I know, it's insane that he was kind of that one to do it, That is my least favorite character. I actually like him less than I like Eugene. And Eugene's the biggest Judas of the group, really.
Eugene's just trying to survive the only way he knows how.
He's
not a fighter. He's a coward.
Well, that's true, yeah.
I think if it came down to choosing between groups, he would definitely go back. But right now, what are his choices? Go with the program or get real personal with Lucille.
Yeah. And I think he saw through that. I think he's a pretty intelligent guy, even though, I think he's intelligent, but in a very devious way. So I think,
right.
Even though he could go back to Rick, I think he's going to stick it out with Negan. Just because.
I think Negan knows what's going on, too. Not much gets past him.
Yeah, that's why those girls were all a trap. I saw that from the beginning. I'm like, no way. Negan knows what this guy's like, and he's going to send 3 girls to him to pleasure this guy who's, can't do anything but video games, really. That's his only, that's his mainstay, that's what he does.
Yeah, but there was no sex. He said there was no sex. That was the rule.
What was the rule?
So he wasn't there to. They weren't there to pleasure him. They were there to hang out.
Well, they were trying to come on to him.
Yeah, they were. That's not what they were supposed to be there for.
Well, I thought
Unless
that's what
you think Negan was trying to set him up.
Well, that's what I remember Negan telling him. He's like, how would you like some of my wives? And he was
but he told him no sex. That
really?
was the rule.
That's what he told them?
Mm-hmm.
When did he tell him that? Was that
but you can't have a conversation, have some dinner. But he said, and this goes without saying, no sex.
I didn't remember that part. I must have looked away from the TV or not heard that or something, but okay. Yeah, that's interesting though. But no, I mean that Eugene is definitely just a through and through traitor, because even when he was with the other group with Rosita and Abraham, they were complaining against him like, you let us all out here to die. All these people died because of you and your stupidity with your, I'm a scientist, I can fix all this shit, get me there safely. He just wanted someone to carry him around like a baby. He's just a big baby.
That's what I'm saying. He's a coward. But...
Yeah, but he's just a big baby in a diaper, that needs to be carried around, and, he has got to suckle off of whatever he can, to make it through life.
Scavenger, man. He's like it's one of those birds that picks the shit out of crocodiles' teeth.
Yeah, possibly.
It's a scavenger.
I think everybody kind of is a scavenger in a way, but I mean, I guess he kind of is. I just see him as.
Well, I don't mean like as a profession of things that like he can do. I mean, that's the kind of creature he is. He can't provide for himself.
Yeah, that's why, with Negan, he's got it good there. He doesn't have to really work at all. He can just play video games, give them a few good ideas. I mean, the whole idea with the lead, pouring the molten lead over their...
Great.
I was like, they already had that before with the one lead zombie they had to fight and the one armored zombie with all the swords in it that Rick had to fight.
Yeah.
I was like...
Well, he wasn't there for that.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's like, yeah, he's gonna have some good ideas. He knows how to, put some things together. It almost makes you think that maybe he does know something about the CDC, and he has some information in it, but it's almost too convincing to be the truth.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's almost like he's too devious to possibly be a truth teller, just to try to survive. Like, I don't really care, if they figure it out or not. He doesn't have like a mode of mission. He doesn't have a mission set. He's just kind of like aimlessly wandering. But
well, think about it. Like I was saying, he's trying to survive the only way that he knows, and that's using what intelligence he has. Lying.
Yeah, definitely. He is that kind of.
I did love that episode though. I thought it was a great episode.
Oh, with him with the pickles.
Oh my god, the pickles.
But I got my pickles here.
Pickles.
That was great. As long as he's got his pickles,
right?
He'll be okay. So.
Yeah, he did turn coats real fast when Negan came around at the end.
Yep.
Yeah, this last one though with Rick and Michonne, I really liked that too. Like, It was just such an awesome like road trip dynamic.
Yeah, and when they fell inside that store, and I told my friend, I'm like, dude, I bet you any money they fell inside of a mattress store, and what did they land on? A big ass bed.
Yep.
I was like, come on, I can't be calling all of this stuff here, because I've been calling so many things with this past season. It's insane. When they opened the furnace, I told my friend, I'm like, dude, someone's going in the furnace, and he's like, but what about that iron? I was like, that's just for show. They're just gonna fake him out and throw him in the fucking fire. Boom, toasted. Man.
Oh, that shit was ice cold too.
That was cool though.
Fucking Dwight. Just totally set that doctor up.
Yep. Well, he wasn't going to get killed. You saw kind of his, assholeness, when he shoots his best friend in the back. At that point, it's like, there's no turning back for this guy, And then later on, his wife leaves him, and she returns the ring and all that stuff that he kept secret, hidden in a little pack of cigarettes and stuff, and he just decides to put it all down. It's like, okay, that was my life. It's no longer that anymore. He comes back, does this ice cold stuff to the doc.
Covers his tracks.
Man, is he good. I think, though, he could still betray Negan. Just because he's such a stone cold...
Oh, yeah. He's doing the same thing as Eugene, just to a different extent.
Yeah.
He's not smart, so he's using what he's got. His only choice is to perform for Negan.
Yeah, and it's funny how him and Eugene at the end of this last episode, they're just standing together and they're talking to each other. The guy that was biting off the other one's,
I love how we apologize.
Oh, man. They're just like all chummy now. It was just like last season he was,
Well, because now Eugene gets it. That's why, he looks at him, You're Dwight, I'm Eugene. We're Negan. Dwight's just like, yep, we are.
It's almost like, dude, it was like, watching an episode of The Odd Couple when you got to that part.
Oh, I know, right? That's what I was saying, like the whole Rick and Michonne thing. It just reminded me of like, what was it? Jules and Vince Vega.
No, I
cruising
can't.
around in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Pulp Fiction. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was thinking...
That's just kind of the vibe that it gave off to me. It was awesome. Just the way they banter back and forth.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good couple, but here's the thing that I've been looking at on All the Walking Dead, and I think I've nailed it. And I can tell what the producer's going to do, how he's going to do it, and why he's going to do it. And so far, what's happened so far, with all the main characters that have been killed, you can see before they're killed, they finally reached a moment of nirvana in their life where they're happy with their life,
Yep.
They're set where they want to be, and they just feel really good. Boom, they die. Next episode or next season, they're gone. It seems like you cannot be happy in this world. It's like what?
That's like the biggest mistake you can make.
Yeah, once you find happiness, you get killed. You are gone. That's why I'm worried about. That's why I'm worried about Michonne.
So really, that's the one thing that doesn't change about life.
Once you finally reach full happiness, you die.
Just stop striving for happiness.
It's kind of true with a lot of life, though. Because
I know, right?
You're always trying to find that happiness, that nirvana, and then once you finally, finished up a lot of things and you're done with everything, you're just sitting there going, well, what do I do now? You can't totally reach that. I think that's what the writer's trying to get to with this Walking Dead. He's trying to point out to us, like, hey, once you've reached that fullness of happiness, you've reached a personal heaven. And now, as far as the story goes, they can't really continue the story because the story is about to be about zombies and death and decay. You can't continue with a happy story at that point.
Right.
So it seems to me like anytime someone's getting close to that happy point, they're just going to get offed and they're done. Because before Glenn got killed, you saw him in the shower with his wife, and he was extremely happy with her, obviously. Yep. And I mean, who wouldn't be? But, you see that scene, and he's just like, yeah, my life's great, and you think, oh, he just got away from everything. He tucked underneath the zombie, and I predicted that too, that he was just hiding underneath the body of the guy that, fell down.
Yeah, I thought he wriggled under the dumpster or something.
Yeah, and it was just the body on top of him was getting eaten, and he just, slithered his way past it. And then his life was happy because he finally could get away from everything. It looked like he was pretty much mortal.
And then they pulled the same gag again with Rick.
What gag?
Yeah, this last episode. They did the same damn gag with Rick.
Oh, yeah. So that makes me worry about Rick, too, because I think he could die.
Oh, definitely, Rick. I think Rick can die.
I think Rick will die at some point, and possibly soon, too. Just because of the fact that they've had him for so long. He's been kind of a leader, but he's been kind of under, he's been kind of over. It's possible he could go. Because even Michonne, she could go too, but I almost think Rick maybe more so. But like you even saw with Abraham, he came to terms with Eugene, he came to terms with his life, liking Sasha over Rosita. He's like, when I knew you, I thought you were the last woman in the world, but there's other women out there. So
yeah,
I'm pretty happy with that.
One of them.
Such an asshole, but at least he's, he's feeling his life the way he runs it. He's happy with his life. And then just like that, offed. I don't know. There's some other ones too. I'm trying to think about, but the other point is Zodiac is I think that I'm having a brain fart now. What's the old woman's name again? I can't remember her name.
Carol?
Carol, that's right, yeah. But Carol, she seems to me like she's the angel of death.
Really?
Yeah, because anytime she gets active and she starts
a little deep.
She starts going out there and exploring things. Someone goes after her, or someone finds her or something like that. There's a lot of major death that happens. And she admits. I mean, you can look into her psyche. She couldn't stay as that house mom or housewife in Alexandria. She had this bloodlust, to kill. She actually doesn't want to, but she keeps putting herself in situations to kill somebody,
right,
or something. And anytime she makes a move, starts moving around, doing something active, like what's going to happen this next, week, where I think she's actually going to leave her home and come out, then we're going to have major war, it seems.
Yeah, I think she's definitely getting in.
It just seems like she's the key. As soon as she starts moving around and doing something, terrible things happen. Man. It just makes me think that...
So. I think you're right.
It's like she's drawn up like the angel of death. She starts to move around, people start to die.
Right, which is why she just wants to be alone.
Yeah. And, that's what it seems like now. Like, just leave her alone. Just,
Like old man Logan. Just wants to be left alone.
You saw that movie?
No, I haven't seen Logan yet.
I saw it.
I read some of the comic, though.
I saw it, though. It's good, but it's sad. But, and it's weird. Like, Daryl has this affection for her. Like, I don't know if it's a mom affection or what.
Yeah, they got this Ross and Rachel shit going on with them. That kind of pisses me off. Okay, won't they? Who the fuck cares?
Oh, man.
The apocalypse, just go ahead and bang.
Just get it over with.
She ain't getting pregnant.
I mean, you see it like that. I almost see it like she's his mom. It's almost like she's like a motherly.
Yeah, see, that makes it gross. Yeah.
Well,
that
maybe it's
everything I just said really gross.
Well, maybe it's an Oedipus complex. What if it's that? You ever think about that?
I don't know. I think Daryl definitely would. I don't know about her though.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Maybe he just like feels this, I don't know, family relationship with her. I mean, you see it as romantic relationship, but I don't know. I'm going to stay on my side and think it's a family relationship, so this doesn't get too weird here.
All right, I'll stop making it weird.
No, it's okay, dude. But, man, that and so many biblical references in here, too, man.
Yeah, I don't know that much of the Bible to really back you up on any of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people even say, like, there's nothing in the Bible that describes a zombie apocalypse. But if you look at Zechariah 14:12, it talks about, people become like walking corpses, their flesh rotting away, the eyes will rot in their sockets, their tongues will follow their mouths, and people will be terrified and they'll have to fight against their neighbors. So, I mean, you could look at that quote, and it sounds a lot like zombie to me. So
yeah, I can see that.
And all the biblical references in there too. King Zechariah, or no, Ezekiel. That's right.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, King Ezekiel, which Ezekiel was a prophet in the Bible. They have Jesus in there too. The priest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure their Jesus is gay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about the comics, but for the show, it doesn't seem like it. But I mean, even the priest is quoting so much text from the Bible.
Oh, yeah, but that's his job.
Well, I mean, from how he was in the beginning, he was just kind of like, I'm just here to save myself. You guys can all die, and that's okay with me. For him to turn around and become this, what he is now, where he's like saying things to Rosita, it just seems strange.
Being in Alexandria has kind of made him better. Like, he found his purpose again once he found that church.
But what do you think is better, though, for him to try to quell this violence towards the enemy, or to?
I think he's basically just trying to keep her alive for now, like stop her from doing all this stupid shit that she keeps doing.
Well, if the bat wasn't in the way,
just get with the program.
If that bat wasn't in the way, she would have killed him dead.
Well, yeah, but
So I mean, there was a little bit of luck with Negan in that.
I know, right? Which, speaking of that whole scene, like, that is one of my favorite things so far to happen in the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's that whole scene with Spencer.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know if if you could find the guts to do it. Oh, wait a minute. There's your guts.
Have the guts.
There's your guts. They're right there.
There they are. Just that whole part. I've never been so wrong in all of my life. I started laughing my ass off, and my wife just looks over at me. She's like, "What the fuck is wrong?"
That was so diabolically funny, though.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. I mean, if it was just like some random good guy, that got gutted or something like that, just randomly, that would be kind of hard to see. But in context of what was going on, he was trying to supersede Rick. He was trying to betray Rick. He was trying to bring the team down. He was just becoming this pure asshole that Negan knew, he can't have a traitor be underneath him. Because if he's going to be a traitor to his own kind, what's he going to do to Negan?
Right.
Same test he gave Eugene. So
can't trust somebody like that.
No, you can't. So when he got disemboweled, it's like, it's funny how he put all the words into context and just, put his point across. It was just hilarious to see it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just, I was cracking.
The best, man. I loved it.
I was cracking up pretty hard too.
The way he explains it when Rick gets there too. How about a thank you?
And then he's just always in Rick's
machine guns a bunch of my men down, and I brought him home. I even fed him spaghetti.
He is just Negan is pretty diabolical. I wouldn't say he's a a great character or anything like that, but
He is by far one of my favorite characters.
at least he has, I don't know what to say he has. It's a principle, or does he have a principle? I think he kind of does, but I'm not sure. It's something. There's something about him.
I can kick your ass. Give me your shit.
Well, besides that,
I mean, that's basically how the apocalypse should work, I would think.
It's going to be like Mad Max. I mean, I've heard people tell, I've even had other people tell me before, like, oh, it'd be amazing to have the apocalypse here. I'm like, are you fucking high? Do you realize how much shit would happen? I mean, you would never be safe. Ever.
How safe are you nowadays?
Not as much. I mean, the police aren't going to be there, hand and foot, making sure you're safe all the time unless you have bodyguards. But in an apocalypse, you don't even have the police. So it's just whatever. Whoever's the strongest rules.
Yep. That's basically the whole Negan principle. He got a couple of people to follow him, and it just went from there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm speculating. I don't think they ever really tell the whole story behind Negan.
So I guess what it would have come down to, Zodiac, is what I would say is, who is not the better ruler because of the amount of people they rule, but who is the better ruler justified based upon the differences between Negan and the governor?
Ooh. I don't know. I would say probably Negan, because at least he's honest about it. Like, half the governor's people, well, more than that, 80% at least of the governor's people had no idea how he was. They all thought he was super nice, and
Mm-hmm.
They had no idea about half the shit that was going on outside that place. At least Negan's honest about it. Everybody knows what's going on. Here's the deal. You're working for points. You get whatever the hell you want, as long as you do what I say.
Yeah, it's kind of like a...
He's got a good setup.
It's kind of like a band of pirates.
Basically.
It's kind of like a pirate system, actually. You get the booty if you, capture the treasure.
Reminds me more of like, I would say Romans or Spartans.
Really?
They're a warrior race.
Yeah, but I don't know if they moved away from their land. I know that they came back. I mean, I just watched the movie 300 again. I don't know how accurate that is, but holding them off.
Well, think about it. I mean, they're basically they're. Well, I just mean the way that the way it's ruled. Negan's on top. Everybody else follows him.
Yeah,
he's almost like God King level.
Mm-hmm.
Now they go out, they conquer. Those places are now outposts of theirs. They're just expanding their territory constantly.
Yeah, it's kind of true. You know what? I think that's the case of, even human, our time frame. We've always been like that.
Yep. And that's what it's reverted back to. I think that's the whole point of Negan.
I think that's what a lot of people forget.
We've gone from planting roots to starting to expand now. Negan doesn't want to just survive. He wants to rule.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, man, yeah, that's pretty true.
He does it with such a great attitude, though.
Well, at least he's got a smile on his face,
Right?
When he's doing what he's doing, it's pretty terrible. I mean...
As long as he doesn't, do that weird lean, you're good.
Yeah.
The more horizontal Negan gets, the worse it's going to be.
What's funny is that's not the first time I've seen that kind of style of movement. I think I had a boss that did the same thing too.
It's a power play.
Yeah. The more you move, the more it's like, I don't know. But
I'm not sure.
I'd have to agree with you with the governor, though. I think the governor was just one spineless coward, when it came down to so many things. I mean, he abandon that family he was protecting at once?
Yep.
And he just kept feeding his daughter. He kept heads of people as trophies, humans that he conquered, mow down his own people. Rosita was one of the ones that survived that. I think she was the only one that survived that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At least, Negan's honest about the crazy shit that he does.
Mm-hmm. I was even...
He kept it all to himself and his little, close little batch of henchmen. Nobody else knew what was going on.
Yeah, I guess it is good to have, even if he is a crazy leader, at least he's honest about it. The only hard part is that somebody usually has to die. I think that's where... Yeah. I think that's where people are just really not into it because, well...
That's what Ezekiel's really trying to prevent, is risking any of his people. He's not even giving them the option to fight, though. Which, that's another character I'm not a huge fan of.
Well, I think he's trying to... Because in the Bible, Ezekiel's a prophet, and he's prophesizing. But, it's basically about, like, I don't know. It's interesting he has a tiger too. I'm thinking that tiger is gonna wreck somebody at some point.
Something's gonna happen. Something has to happen with the tiger. I mean,
I know we're gonna see the tiger maul someone. It could be that Darren guy.
I don't know. Did you see Daryl at the end of one of the last episodes though? Tiger was letting him pet it and shit.
Oh yeah, that's
Daryl's
right.
Gonna ride the tiger at some point.
Yeah, I think that could happen, dude.
They're gonna crank some Dio, and he's gonna fucking ride the tiger.
Oh yeah, I could see this. Yep, I think you called it, man. I think you called it.
Yeah. They're gonna go fight Negan, and Daryl's gonna ride that tiger into battle.
Oh yeah. What about that one happy dude?
Crossbow fucking side saddle. I don't know.
What about that one happy dude with the axe?
Happy
dude. The guy that's Ezekiel's bodyguard?
Oh my god, Jerry. Like, that's my new thing. Whenever he does something, I just look over at my wife. I'm like, fucking Jerry. Because he's always like breaking character. He's just so happy.
Yeah, it's like,
here,
hey,
cobbler.
Cool.
Like, fucking Jerry, just get your shit together, man.
The thing is, he's probably gonna live through almost everything, and he's just gonna always be happy. He's just stupid happy for no reason.
I don't know. We were all starting to like Fat Joey with Negan.
Yeah, but Negan, he doesn't like jokers.
Nah, he loved Fat Joey. It was Daryl that killed him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he was escaping.
Oh, I didn't know that was Daryl that did that.
Yep.
Nah, I must have been on a bathroom break. I probably didn't see that part. But
yeah, it was when Daryl was escaping. He had to kill him. He was out by the motorcycles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's
funny.
funny.
He got Rick's gun too. Joe had Rick's gun under his belt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh man, this is looking pretty good though. I think last season when it ended and they cut to that, bashing the cameraman in crap, it was almost at that turning point. I'm like, dude, they have to end the show. This is ridiculous. And everybody hated that ending. It was just such a cliffhanger. It's like,
oh, I know.
You don't
People were so pissed.
You don't need a cliffhanger with a show with this much popularity. You don't need that cliffhanger.
They may not need it, but they like doing it.
Well, yeah, they pulled and tugged at everybody's heartstrings with that one.
This show loves doing that shit. Walking Dead loves cliffhangers.
Yeah, I was kind of happy sometimes that they kind of bring some clarity at the end of this, at the end of the shows, like when the garbage people, came in and Rick was smiling.
Yep.
I was
I'm
wondering
not
when
a
they're
fan of that. I don't like those characters either.
Because I was telling my friend that's the Borg. You
Yeah.
know, it's just the Borg. It's like a queen bee hive mentality. You know, they have one leader. They all think the same way. They all get the same treatment, except for one person's really in charge and they just know what to do. And you could look where they were showing with all the garbage that they strewn about. You know,
Yep.
it was almost in a honeycomb fashion. The way that they
Was it?
yeah, the way that they put it together, it was almost a honeycomb fashion. So it's like, well, there you go. You know, because
I want
you
some
have to
backstory on these people though. Like, there's got to be a story there.
I think it's kind of awesome they're doing all these different kinds of things because they're trying to come up with something interesting for different groups. So this one's like the queen bee. The other one was the wolf pack. You know, that kind of got killed off.
Yeah. It's starting to get a little ridiculous though. Like, it's like the Warriors. Every gang's got to have their own fucking gimmick.
Well, that's what they've been doing. That's what they're going to hold true to, though. You know. So, the next one is going to be Sky Pirates, I guess. Or it could be moles. You know, people living underground. Hey, that's one I don't think
They've already done cannibals. Underground, yeah, maybe. Oh, you know what? They're doing that in that weird commercial TV show that they got going on in between. They got a group of people living in an underground bunker.
Wait, for the Fear of the Walking Dead, or is that over?
That's still going too. That's coming back soon.
I'm not really a
But
fan
no,
of
it's
that.
like Walking Dead Passage or something like that. It's like that mini thing that they did last time with the flight, the zombies on a plane thing.
It'd be funny if you had Sam Jackson saying, "These goddamn zombies on this goddamn plane."
Right?
However he said it.
Sick and tired of these motherfucking zombies on this motherfucking plane.
Oh, dude. You know, what if they did the mole people, though? I mean, what is Rick's group going to go into a whack-a-mole mode? Just get little hammers and pop them on the
At
head?
least not like mutating zombies like fucking Resident Evil style.
Yeah, I like the Resident Evil movies.
I'll stop watching the show if that starts happening.
I like the Resident Evil movies, but in the context of that movie. You know, if they mix this into that, it's just going to be too ridiculous to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, so everything was normal for 7 years, and now everybody turns into a gigantic freaking mutant that can blow fire and fly. I mean, what? You know?
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is a little too much.
Weird enough with the trash people and the kingdom.
Well, they have to introduce
I
some
don't know.
different things. I mean, I think the kingdom, I think Negan didn't take it over yet because he can't, you know, see the layout of the property, so he can't see what they have for defense, apparently. Otherwise, he would have just taken that whole thing over.
I think it's an old deal. I think that the kingdom is one of the original cities or groups to fall and get taken. But I think, he was willing to deal back then. They just honor the deal.
Oh, like the old
But you can
blood,
see it's getting
blood
it's
oaths
getting
and pacts of
volatile.
old. What?
That's kind of what it reminds me. I mean, shit, Negan's got serfs.
Yeah, he does.
Look at all the people in the marketplace. They're serfs. Everyone working on a point system.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's pretty much taken it to a feudal society in a way, but it's kind of like, if you have to look at his society, it's more of a virus, you know, or the zombie virus is a virus, but like he's taken it to a virus point where everybody's infected with the same thing, so they're all him, you know. He's like, everybody's just an extension of him, you know. They're all infected with Negan.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, I don't know how to look at it, because I mean, I look at all these different.
Fever.
What?
I said I got a fever.
And the only cure for that fever is more cowbell. Oh,
Sorry,
man.
It's the only thing I could think of when you said like a virus.
Well, That's a good one.
I hope if anybody listens to the show that they get that reference.
If they're old enough, we will. They'll get it. SNL.
Wake up,
We'll
dog.
bring. What?
My dog's starting to snore.
Oh.
I was giving her a shove.
Mm.
Wake up.
Yeah.
Baby.
So.
But yeah, the whole show, I think it's getting better as it goes to an extent, I think, but I hope they don't keep getting too crazy with the secondary societies.
I don't think that's going to stop, dude.
I think I'm done with the gimmicks. I hope it stops it. The junkers or trash people, whatever you want to call them.
Well, I'm just going to call them the Hive or the Borg.
I like that. I like the Hive. The Horde.
Yeah, we'll just call them the Hive from now on. Because, I mean, you look at that pile that they did, and it's kind of set up like, a honeycomb, the hexagonal pits, where you'd fill it with honey. So, I mean, it just seems like that. And, what they take and what they give is very robotic. It's like she has definite control over everything. Again, nobody questions her. Nobody even speaks. They're just little busy bees or ants or whatever. For that. I think that's pretty interesting. But
I want to see what Rick's plan is after they beat Negan.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like, the way him and Michonne were talking, like they kind of want to try and unify everybody after they take out Negan.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with Rick though. Because here's the thing, Rick is if I have to liken him to a medieval term, I'd probably say he's more of the paladin. But sometimes he kind of converts to like a Dark Knight status. But usually he's like the paladin. He like sticks up for the righteous, and he takes the just cause. But when he had to become Negan, he really didn't have a choice. Otherwise, everybody gets exterminated because of his pride, for that. But he just seems like the paladin. He's not exactly the leader, though. I think he's constantly forced into that position, but he's really not the guy that wants
the power.
Exactly, because when it came to Alexandria, he didn't say. Well, he kind of did say he was going to probably take it over, but he was going to take it over if they were going to be too weak and not fight. But otherwise,
right, but I think he said we're going to take it though, not like me. I'm going to take over.
Yeah, but it was based on a circumstance. It wasn't just based upon I really want to take this over. He's, it's like he had to nurture them or teach them, but in the society that they were in, they weren't going to necessarily do that. They just wanted to sit behind the walls and, hopefully the storm will pass. They didn't want to do anything about it.
Basically, the kingdom's doing.
Exactly, yeah. He's kind of just going to... I think what he wants to do is he probably is going to just let King Ezekiel just take charge. Because King Ezekiel's already a leader.
That would make sense to an extent. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't want Ezekiel fully in charge in my side of the apocalypse.
I don't think anything's really that bad with Ezekiel, though. What? What'd you say?
I would want somebody from Rick's group in charge. Like,
yeah.
Spoiler alert, in the comic, I'm pretty sure it's Andrea that takes over.
What? She's already dead in the series.
Yeah, she's already dead in the show now.
That sucks.
I don't know if Rick and Michonne ever really got together in the comics, but Rick and Andrea did.
I know. I was really pissed when Andrea got killed. I mean, because, she was... It was almost like she was better off just killing herself at the CDC instead of letting her live to that point where she just got...
Where she wound up shooting herself anyway.
Yeah. It would have been better for her in that sense because it's like... It seems like people's lives are in this show are somewhat destined, to do what they think they should do. But if they get too happy, well, then they get killed.
Right.
As we can,
no happiness.
No happiness. No total happiness. You could be somewhat happy, but no total no total happiness.
Content? All right.
Yeah,
Happy?
content is fine. But what was it? Maggie's sister. When she got shot in the end, she was kind of like finally able to be somewhat useful and help out with a lot of things. Whereas before she was just a little sister, and then she gets killed off. So it's like she finally, I guess, she was kind of happy trying to make a difference, and she gets killed off.
I
What was
know
it? Her,
that was a shocker to me. I really did not expect that.
I don't think anybody did.
Because she's another character that in the comics she died earlier.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no idea that was coming.
Yeah, man, that was quite a shocker. And in Herschel, after they made that, sage or oracle standing or, old man group, where these, the village elders are in charge,
Yep.
then the governor just storms on in there, captures him, and boom, off with his head.
Yep.
That's, it's like Herschel finally found a calling instead of just being like a bum on a farm, with his family hiding. He finally tried to make a difference. And he was happy with it.
I think that was Tyrese in the comic that died that way.
Tyrese gets decapitated that way?
I think that was Tyrese in the comic. Can't remember. I don't think it was
Yeah.
Herschel though.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask you about a lot of this stuff too, because, I haven't read any of the comic at all. I think I could scroll through some of the pages online.
Yep.
There's a lot, though. There's a lot to look through.
Oh yeah. There's over 100 issues.
So what are you more happy with, the comics or the show?
Honestly, I love both because they do the show just different enough where you never really know what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times it's pretty similar, but sometimes it's way different. And other times you don't know because some of these characters are already dead in the comic. Some of them don't even exist in the comics.
Mm-hmm. Well, Daryl's not in the comics, right?
Huh?
Daryl's not even in the comics.
Yeah,
right?
Daryl's not in the comic.
He's been such a
was
fan favorite, though. I mean, he's a cool guy and all, but I mean, I liked. I still think Rick is probably my favorite, out of the male characters, but Rosita's definitely my favorite, the female.
Yes.
So
I know.
did I say that before?
She's one of my least favorites. I am not a fan of her either.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Just a dummy.
Hey, she's got some balls, man.
That's about
What's
all
up?
she's got going for her.
Well, she's got some good looks too. I like her looks. She looks good.
That's how she gets the balls.
I don't know. I think she's more like the woman scorned, by Abraham, and she's got this vengeance, built up in her.
Yep.
That this rage that just keeps getting built up more and more. And it's just fun to see her just, on fire, with this rage that just, and it's like she's really not doing hardly anything to anybody, but everybody just seems to keep provoking her. There's something that happened. It just, just keeps provoking her over and over again. And it's like that Gabriel guy kind of put her in her place, but it was, he kind of put her in her place, but it was kind of bland.
Yeah.
I was like,
He wasn't
well,
trying to argue, though. He was basically just being like, look, you're being unreasonable and stupid, and I just tried to help you.
Yeah.
What more do you want, bitch?
Well, you don't want to incur a woman's wrath, and I think that's already been elevated.
Especially one who's willing to push her fucking face into a Bowie knife.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't know. I like her a lot. I also like Maggie, too. I was going to be shocked if they killed Maggie, in the TV
Maggie.
series.
Good character.
Maggie's a very good character. I think she, her rage is well deserved. Probably a little more than Rosita's, but, it's
Well,
it's
she's
like,
literally lost her entire family now. Everyone but the baby.
Yeah, Yeah, so she, I think it's gonna possibly at the end of this gonna turn into a woman duo where Maggie and Rosita both kill Negan possibly.
I can see that.
I know Sasha's there, and Sasha's gonna want to take the shot and all. But someone's gonna have to take a bullet, and I think it's either Sasha, possibly Rick, or Michonne. I don't see I don't see them all getting out alive perfectly out of that.
I think I'm calling both Sasha and Rosita. I think they're gonna fail.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my call on that one. I'll put my money on them.
Okay, well, I'm putting my money on the other three, but I mean, Rick kind of has to keep going, but I think that's the thing that everybody thinks, and I think that's why he's going to get killed off at some point. Because
definitely at some point, but I don't think it's going to be yet. Well,
there's been so many little hints in the past of him tipping the hat to his son, giving him the hat, trying to help him grow, and his son just surviving so many just random should be killed instances.
Oh, I know, right?
I mean, it's like every
fucking zombie apocalypse survives a bullet to the eye.
I know. And what was it? Arrow in the head, or a bullet in the head, or what was the other one from the rifle? It was in the stomach?
Through the chest.
Yeah. Through the chest, through the eye. He kills some of Negan's guys, and Negan just lets him go scot-free. It's like, and then I fed him spaghetti. He was like, that was badass. Negan was impressed by that shit.
I like how he made him keep the eye patch off. That was like one of the funniest things in that whole episode. Can I put the eye patch back on? No. I want to look at your gnarly eye.
Oh man. I think it's Negan's fascination with the morbid that
I think a lot of it's just to put people off. A lot of it's just posturing.
Yeah, and I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to just piss them off just enough and then reward them, like, fast. So they won't, be angry with him. But he gets to, say his feelings, but then give them something nice, so they're not totally against him. They don't totally hate the guy.
Yeah. I think he's got a good system. He hasn't beat too many of his own people to death.
Yeah, but man, I mean, if you're just killing a random person every once in a while when you meet a group, that's going to be, unless it's just the individual person's choice. I don't know if that was Negan's personal choice. Did he just kill random people if they just decided to join him? Or is it just like people that resisted him?
I think it's mostly just the people that resist.
Okay, so...
Or if you fuck up bad enough to piss him off that much, I guess.
And he put the doctor in the fire because the doctor admitted to it when he didn't do it. And I was thinking, if the doctor admits to this, even though the doctor didn't do it, he's going to go in the fire. If he says he didn't do it, he's going to get the iron on the face. Because there's got to be some kind of punishment. But because he's admitting to it, he's admitting to usurping this other guy's power within the group, he has to go. I was like, he's got to go. And Negan's not going to allow this kind, because that's what he did to what's his face, the guy, disemboweled face. What? Spencer. Yeah, I can't remember all their names. There's so many. But that's what he did to him. He was going to usurp Rick's power, and even in that case, Negan's in charge, but he's still kind of new to it. Hasn't been there that long, but he can see traitors. Anybody that's a traitor is dead.
Definitely. Yeah, you can't have that shit.
No.
That's why he's one of my favorite characters, man. He knows how to do the apocalypse.
It kind of makes sense though, in an apocalypse, the way he's doing things.
What other kind of society do you really have?
Yeah, but in an apocalypse, you'd think that would be true, though. If you have a traitor in your group and you're trying to survive,
get him out of there.
How you gonna? What are you gonna do? Lock him up? There's no, there's no way to like. They were kind of psychologically training Daryl with that music. They were playing with the Happy Place or
Easy Street.
Easy Street. Oh my gosh.
It's my wife's ringtone now. Thanks, Walking Dead.
Man, but it looks like they're doing like very basic ways of psychologically training people to be on their side, although their side's not good.
They were trying to break Daryl. They didn't have to break Eugene.
Yeah. No, Eugene.
I love how Easy Street came back up in the Eugene episode too. when he turns the radio on.
And he starts like getting happy about it.
Yeah, he likes it.
Yeah, this is good. This is good stuff here. Oh man. But I mean, in an apocalypse though, you'd have to be on one person's side or another.
Eventually.
Or else you're just gonna lose. You can't survive by yourself forever.
Right, and not everyone's gonna get along either.
No, you have to go.
Mm-hmm. Can't always just merge with other groups.
Mm-hmm. But look at how it was before. All the wars we had before we had as much technology as we have and as much communication as we have. Think about it, we lose all that stuff. We're going to go back to primitive state. We're not going to know what somebody's saying like halfway across the world. We're not going to be able to. We're going to have to form smaller societies, and in smaller societies they don't trust each other that much. That's why so long ago there was so many wars where there was one conqueror just goes out and conquers everything. Alexander the Great.
That's what I was comparing it to earlier with saying that's how Negan's group reminds me. It makes me think of like the Greeks and the Romans.
Yeah, because that's what happens. People think, oh, that's just because they were primal, they were brutes. This is what happens when you lose communication.
Oh, that's human nature.
Yeah, this is exactly what happened. We're seeing it in the show, and it just looks like a show, but it's almost reality. There's so many other shows that talk about. You could watch Mad Max. That's kind of similar in a lot of ways. But it just comes down to the fact that if, let's say we didn't have the police, or we didn't have the military to defend our borders, someone from some other country is going to come over here and take us over.
Yep.
If we don't have the police, more people are going to be intended to just commit crime because you have to defend yourself and your property.
Yeah.
It's just the way we've come to run our society is better than those states of society, but if we get in the Walking Dead stuff, we're going to run right back into the old, the days of old.
Oh, definitely. I agree. I could see a lot of the stuff that happens on here happening if doesn't even have to be zombies. It could be anything.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I think the reason we don't have as many big wars as we do anymore is just because of communication.
We're still having some pretty big wars. Just we don't have to send as many people anymore.
Yeah, people understand a little bit more. They understand better strategic tactics to use with different weapons and things like that too. But even beyond that, it's not at the scale it used to be. And I think the part of the reason for that is communication. Now we have video communication, so we can actually see people in other areas, how they act, how they interact, and we don't feel intimidated by them. But as a human nature, when we can't see a person in another area, like how, the Greeks and the Romans fought against each other, they don't know how they are. And so anything that your society sends up as propaganda saying, oh, these people are evil, these people are the devil, this and that and the other thing, you want to go to war and kill them because you think they're bad and they're evil. And the people on the other side hear the same story in reverse. They think that you're the bad person. So if you go to war, everybody's got all their hearts into it, thinking that the other side is the terrible side.
Well, yeah, it's kind of the purpose.
Yeah. So, we watch The Walking Dead, and everybody's constantly trying to figure out, well, is Rick a good guy or is Rick a bad guy? Rick is pretty much a good neutral. You know, he's trying to see the good and somewhat be neutral. Okay, chaotic neutral, but he's like right in the middle. And I think that's where we're seeing sometimes, like when he killed the one dude with the samurai sword, you know, or no, he shot him. What was that guy's name that was kind of married to that one girl he was going to date in Alexandria? I'm terrible with their names.
Oh,
but,
yeah. I forget her name.
starts with an A, I think. Right? Or is it Samantha or what?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I know on Talking Dead it was her husband was referred to as Porch Dick.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, and then it gets to the point where, you know, the leader of the group says, you know, kill him, you know, because he was in a rage and he killed, the
original leader.
Yeah. So, you know, so the dude killed the the other guy. That was, you know,
the original leader of Alexandria.
Yeah.
Killed.
Yeah. So, you know, he kills him and then she turns to Rick and she's like, do it. You know, and he puts a bullet in his head. And then you've got Rick's other friend, you know, that he knew from the very beginning, the first, or was it the second episode or the first episode?
What, into that season? Where he knew he was going to take over?
Oh, man. Now I'm just like forgetting everybody's names now. What's his name? The guy with the stick? Talks philosophy. Morgan, his friend, yeah. So he comes in. I'm not going to get names right, but he comes in and he sees Rick in this state of, like, evil. Would you call it that? Like what kind of state would you call that? I mean, it's like, you know, Rick has lowered himself to be underneath, but he's not taking, you know, the good responsibilities. He kind of undermined that relationship, as you could see throughout that season, you remember?
Yep.
But there was some just cause for that. You know, he was kind of beating that woman. So there was some just cause for that, but he was still kind of undermining the relationship, and he wanted to sleep with her, get into that relationship, and then finally when he finds out the other dude's getting super pissed, Porch Dick's getting super pissed, he has a reason to kill him.
Yeah.
You know, and then Morgan comes back and he looks at Rick and he's like, you are not the person that I remember. You know, you were trying to do all this good stuff for me, and look at you. You look like a beast. You know, here killing this person off. I mean, But
yeah, he had some bloodlust going on for a while.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, you could see Rick kind of...
So I think Rick's kind of over the bloodlust that he used to have. We'll see, though.
Yeah, but I think we were...
to this new battle.
I think we were watching that throughout most of the seasons, though. You know, because he was kind of going back and forth between, is Rick a good guy? Is he a bad guy? You know, he's like that chaos neutral, you know?
Yeah, he's all about survival, and that's basically it.
But he does seem to, portend towards the good side more than not. At least that's how I see it. I don't know how you see it, but that's...
Yeah, I would definitely say definitely leans more towards the right aspect of what should be done. But... I'm gonna say, like, the older episodes, there was definite bloodlust. Like, he just loved killing.
Yeah. I think him and Carol have a lot in common with that, because they're almost kind of like the same character in a way. But when she goes overboard, you know, like, I think she killed those people and burned those bodies because of the infection back in the jail.
Yep.
She just booked it. She's like, I'm not staying for the repercussion. You know.
Well, yeah. Why would she?
Yeah, but she didn't explain anything. She didn't, like, talk to anybody. She just was like, I know what needs to be done. I'm just going to do it. You know?
Nobody else had the sack to do it.
Kind of like what Rick does. You know, he knows what needs to be done. He was, like, even when Negan was going to kill the whole group, he was still going to defy Negan. You know? When
right up till it came to cut off your kid's hand.
I mean, it's like, dude, are you this brainless? You are completely surrounded, everybody has a gun to their head. There's no way you're going to survive this. It's either you kiss ass or you just go full bore and you defy him and get killed.
Yep.
But he like played around with the idea back and forth. And it's like, come on, Rick, you're better than this. You know. I was kind of shocked.
He was kind of pissing his pants there, though, at the in that whole scene.
He could have tried to kiss ass a little bit and maybe like taken the repercussions away to a point where maybe Glenn didn't get killed too, because I think he just added another death on top of that because of the resistance.
That was Daryl that made that happen.
Really? Thought that was all Rick.
Wasn't it Daryl that lashed out and made Glenn die? If I remember that wrong.
Well, I mean, Abraham's the one that stood up to him and actually said, you know, I don't know what he said, but it's usually something stupid that's kind of funny, and you know.
Oh, Abraham just told him suck my nuts.
Oh yeah. When he's going down, suck my nuts.
Yeah.
At least Abraham had the bravery to die for a good cause. I mean, that really elevated him to a hero status.
Yeah, like, he just stood up straight and took it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see him go, but he was that character that kind of, well, he had to take the bat for the team, literally.
He was one of my favorite characters, though. Like I loved his character.
I thought his character was kind of funny initially. I didn't like it. But
I was
then
more sad to see Abraham go than Glenn.
Yeah, surprisingly too. I mean, I liked Glenn for the longest time. I kind of wanted him to, you know, continue on all the way to the end. But you know, it just didn't seem like it was going to happen. It was such a shocker because he survived so much, you know, to get to that point. You know, and then he just gets beat with a baseball bat. It's like,
that's how it went down in the comic too, though. So that's one thing that didn't change.
It looks kind of ironic because he looks like, when he started the show, he looked like that little kid that was a baseball fan.
You know, I know, right?
Yeah.
He looked like fucking Short Round.
I know. I know. He's like that little kid that's a baseball fan. In the end, he meets his end by the very sport he likes. Which is kind of sad. But, I mean, Abraham...
Dr. Jones.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that the whole time. That's why I liked him so much, because he's like, you know, guiding him, you know, under the tank. He's like, over here, over there, do this, do that. I mean, he's like this strategist. You know, he's this technical strategist when it comes to things. And it's kind of sad to see it go, but I don't know. Do you think the actor character just got sick of the shows? Is that why, or do you think?
No, it's how it went down in the comics, and he said in one of the interviews, like, that was one of his stipulations. He told him, like, look, don't you dare take away my character's death.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is how it went down. I want this to happen.
Well, you kind of go down like a champ, you know, you go down like a hero.
It was just such a big moment in the comic, too, so, like, it makes sense that he would want to portray that. That was such a big moment for fans.
Yeah.
Not that fans of the show aren't real fans. That came out wrong. It doesn't make you less of a fan if you don't read the comics.
No, the comics are long. The guy's still writing them too, I think.
Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah, it's like, I like to keep up with it, but it's so there's so much to it.
Well, he's got so many irons in the fire right now. Like, he's got Fear the Walking Dead, he's got Walking Dead, he's got Outcast. He's writing books for pretty much all Walking Dead. He's still doing writing books for Outcast, I think. And he's got some other new superhero one coming out too, or that just came out.
Well, if he's got so many hooks in the fire, maybe he's going to have to finish The Walking Dead so he can start on some other ones.
I would say,
you know,
Outcast would probably end before Walking Dead.
Okay, I don't know anything about that show, but maybe.
That's a Showtime show, so you gotta you gotta have like the package that includes that.
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
if you want to watch that
I'm
until
not
they
that
put it on
rich.
Netflix or something.
Yeah, I'm not that rich, dude.
I'm not rich either. I just got a good deal.
I don't get those good deals. So anytime it's like a deal, it's like, oh, it's only like $70 for all this extra stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, okay.
I don't know. I managed to get a pretty decent deal the last time I renegotiated, but yeah. So I was able to watch the first season of Outcast. It's actually pretty damn good.
I don't know what it's about at
That one's
all.
about demons.
Okay, so it's kind of like Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Well, I don't know. I haven't watched that one actually.
I actually got the first season.
I heard
it's
it
not
was
bad.
good.
Yeah, first season's good. I just thought it would be longer, but
That's what she said.
I've been waiting for those jokes to pop up.
It's also what
So.
she said.
Maybe that's not what you want her to say, though.
What, that joke isn't what your girl calls it?
No, the way you said it. Oh, man.
All right, so one of my favorite parts of the comic that they didn't do in the show and really would have been awesome if they did. Like, Shane died way earlier in the comic. Like, back when they were at that original camp.
I didn't want Shane to die. I wanted it to be like, a couple bros fighting all the zombies all the way to the end. I thought it'd be awesome.
Yeah, it kind of went down the same way, like as it did in the show. Rick wound up having to kill him because he tried to kill Rick, but it just happened way earlier. But the best part was it was before they found out that no matter how you die, you turn. So they find that out, and that night Rick's sitting there thinking, and he just sits up in bed. Laurie's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, I got to go do something." Hops on a motorcycle and takes off, and just proceeds to go dig up Shane, scream in his face about trying to steal his wife. And
Shane wakes up.
Like, basically beats him to death again. Waits till he sits back up, and he's like, "All right. I'm gonna kill you 3 more times, then I'm gonna bury you."
Oh, man. That's cool. The show had a cool way, though, with the father-son duo. But the comic sounds a little better.
The comic moves a lot faster. I'll say that. There's not as much like personal drama. There is some, but it moves through shit a whole lot faster.
Yeah. I was thinking this too, with zombies and all that. I wonder, because they've shown some other movies, I've seen some other TV shows or movies where they're kind of, they're basically kind of looking at the zombie through the zombie's eyes, and it seems like the zombie is in a dream state where it's like they're in a coma, they're kind of sleeping, but their body and the virus is making them do whatever it
Oh, do you
wants
mean
them
like
to
that
do.
Warm Bodies movie?
I think that was one of those that I saw, but I think there was something else. Maybe it was that, and I think there was like a comedy I saw too.
That
But I
was a
wonder if
comic.
okay. Well, that was that one, and I thought I thought I saw another one, or else I'm just thinking about it. But what do you think about that?
Well, they're reanimated corpses. I don't think they really have any thoughts and emotions like that.
Well, I mean, with death, I mean they've proven that you still have electrical pulses going through your brain until rigor mortis really sets in. So it's like 10 hours a day, maybe, that your brain is still functioning. It's like, I think when you die, you go into this dreamlike state, where if you're going to heaven, you're going to kind of go through this portal in your mind. But what if it's like a zombie? It's like it keeps that brain somewhat functioning, because the brain does, they showed in the CDC, the brain does function to some degree. It's not as massive, but it's a little bit. And even with The Walking Dead, with what's his face, the one guy that was taking care of Judith, You know, the kind of the shorter black dude that was taking care of Judith.
Yeah. Tyrese. Is that who it
Yeah,
was?
when he was dying, he was seeing the zombies as familiar friends. And there were other parts of the show that were kind of showing that too, where when someone was dying, it's like they weren't seeing the zombies as zombies. They were seeing their friends, their family. Other people talked to them but weren't really there.
Yeah.
It's like they go into this dreamlike state and you can't come out of it. It's like a permanent, you know, it seems like that,
Maybe.
you know. And so it just makes me think, I wonder if all these zombies are still kind of there, but the virus is too much where the body's already gone into rigor mortis, but the brain is still kind of there. But it's kind of put into off switch. Like when you go to sleep and your subconscious wakes up and it starts to dream, you know, you're in a different mode. It's like you flipped. It's like your brain is flipped upside down, and you got your subconscious running, and you're thinking about your dreams, and all that stuff is playing like a movie, and you're interacting with it.
So it's
you know?
just like the deep primal parts of your brain that are running,
Yeah. It's just like that. It's like
and everything else is just being sedated.
yeah, pretty much. The virus controls everything, but it can't keep the functions of your body running properly. So you can deteriorate. You know, you don't like the bone marrow doesn't produce any new blood. And just because of that you lose oxygen. You know, you're not using all the parts of your brain to send the right perfect signals because the virus isn't strong enough to completely replicate the human body. But the whole eating part, I don't fully get. I don't know how they get nourishment off that, like how they recharge themselves from eating.
Well,
And I mean, if they're
body still needs food to run.
that's true, but couldn't they just eat anything?
Yeah, you would
I
think.
mean,
And the smell thing too, like the way they you could smear a bunch of guts on yourself and walk around.
yeah, to me that makes sense though. Um, but because the smell sensor, the olfactory sensor, I think that's olfactory.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, that's still connected to the brain. That should still function. But to what degree? I mean, if you're going
Yeah,
through
but
rigor
that's a pretty
mortis,
high degree though, where like they could smell the difference between living and dead.
yeah, I think of anything, the most likely one to work the best would be hearing, because I think you know hearing is involves like a little bone in your ear that moves around based on vibrations of the air and everything. I think if anything, if they lose most of their senses, their hearing will still be intact.
That would make sense
So
because I mean, if they're not really like breathing and whatnot, they
they'd
don't have
have
as
to
much
breathe somewhat
internal
though.
interference.
They'd have to breathe somewhat though, because if the breathing completely stops, rigor mortis is going to happen like so fast. And if the joint seize up, you know, because once rigor mortis sets in, you become a stiff. That's the way it's called. And your joint seize up, and your arm muscles, everything. You lose the lubrication in your elbows and your knees, and they won't work. So I'm guessing there has to be some sort of breathing going on, some sort of oxygen production going on.
Well, to an extent, I'm sure.
I think it's
I
very
don't know
slow.
though. Like
I think what happens is it's very slow, but
there
it's
has to
not
be some sort of
enough.
breathing because they're making noises and moaning and raspy stuff like that. And you
Ye-
can't do that without passing air through
Yeah,
like the trachea and your larynx, voice
yeah. I
box,
think
whatever.
yeah, that makes sense. I think with the virus, what happens is that they breathe so slow because the virus wants to keep the body going, but it wants to replicate through the feeding of the saliva dripping from them into the victim. But they're breathing so slow and they're moving so fast. They're pushing out more energy than they can get from oxygen that they can consume, that they can deteriorate a lot faster.
Yeah, and if you notice, the well-fed zombies are not as rotted as the ones that are just laying around or wander in the woods.
That's true. That's very true.
So maybe it's
Yeah,
maybe it's a metabolism thing.
it could be. It could be because if they have to feed to eat, it's not just they'd have to eat anything. But that makes me interested because there was the zombie cow that the Daryl guy saw. You know,
Yeah,
before he got killed, there was a zombie cow, which we haven't seen any other zombie animal. Maybe the zombie dogs.
I don't remember a
That
zombie
was
cow.
well. That was when he went out to the field and he saw a zombie cow. The cow was like eaten almost all the way through, and it was standing up. It was still alive because of the virus.
Oh, I don't remember
And
that.
then he like pushed it over, and then he got killed somehow. I think a zombie came. Oh, a zombie came up from behind him and tore out his guts, and that was it for him. Uh,
I don't remember.
but there was
I'll have to
also
go
the
back.
there was also the zombie dogs, if you remember that, or the little pack of zombie dogs.
No, I don't remember any zombie dogs either.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were. But yeah, I mean, if you were a zombie, you'd have to eat which. I guess the virus would want to keep infecting the same kind of host, because it probably would know it could pass its genetic
But
DNA.
that's the thing in the Walking Dead universe. Everybody's already infected. They're not passing on anything.
So how is it with the animals, though? I mean, is it like they have to be infected, or they are already infected also?
I don't know because I don't recall seeing any zombie animals on this show.
Well, I remember the zombie cow. I don't know if my memory serves right, but I'm pretty sure there was a zombie cow, and I'm pretty sure there was zombie dogs too, like a pack of zombie dogs, or else they were regular dogs.
Maybe regular dogs. I know I've seen regular dogs on the show.
Hmm. Maybe I've watched too much Resident Evil,
Maybe
but
I think that's what you're thinking.
but what was the other point there too? Um,
I don't know. We're running into hour and a half territory.
hmm. Yeah, yeah, but what was my other point? I was trying to think about it. Um, with the zombies and stuff. Oh, but if they all have the zombie infection inside of them, do you remember Ezekiel giving the saviors the tainted meat from the pigs that were eating off the zombies?
Yep.
So we have totally forgotten all about that.
They may not know. Some people
But
still just don't know. Maybe they haven't had anybody die there.
So is it the point to poison them to kill them off like that? Or is it the point that
I think the point is, haha, they're eating zombie meat.
but can you survive off that? I mean, if you already have the infection,
That's
how much
that's
worse?
what I'm saying. I don't think they're trying to make the infection worse. I just think if they figure if we got to do this, let's at least make it funny. If we got to give these guys, 6 pigs or whatever, then
Yeah.
let's make sure they're getting pigs that have been just eating shitty fucking dead zombies.
Well,
That's
I mean,
what
as
I
long
do.
as they're not eating the intestines,
If you got to
shouldn't
do
be
it,
too bad.
you don't have to. You don't have to feed it good food.
Not necessarily. Pigs will eat anything, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
What was it? Snatch? Isn't that where the main bad guy there was feeding bodies to pigs?
The bodies to pigs.
I think that was Snatch.
Snatch.
Yeah. What was it? Brickhead or what?
I don't remember
his name.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch any of the Fear the Walking Dead. The characters are so dull. Yeah, they're just so dull. It's like, there's nobody that stands out. There's nobody that's that interesting. I thought it was over.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Fear the Walking Dead. Like, I'll watch it just because it's on and kind of gets me my fix.
Yeah, I could see that.
But right now, I'm looking forward to Preacher. Preacher's coming back in June, I think.
Yeah, I heard about that. So is he basically like Desperado or something, where just
He's he's kind of an alcoholic preacher who's lost his faith, who winds up with the powers of God, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that doesn't make any sense to me. He's like, it's like Bruce Almighty, but he's not so nice.
It's a really fucked up storyline. Like, God's missing. Fucking the preacher has these powers because of some secret fucking angel demon baby. Basically, it was a Nephilim. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
No, that's a person and a angel.
The Nephilim are the human giants created from angels and man. Offspring.
Yeah. That's not what I was thinking of. It's the offspring of an angel and a demon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this crazy energy that's supposedly more powerful than God. So God had it locked up, but it escaped and found its way into the preacher, which for some reason is the only thing that's been able to hold it.
Oh, so he's like holding the spirit within him?
Yeah, because everything else that it tried to possess wound up exploding. Like in the first episode of Preacher, they blew up Tom Cruise. Like, they didn't show it, but you heard it on the background in one of the TVs. Like they showed it blow up like some preacher down in Africa somewhere. And then
wow.
I think it blew up a televangelist after that. And then like on the TV the next day, you hear in the background, was a Scientology sermon came to an abrupt ending when Tom Cruise exploded mid-speech or something.
Oh, man. Wow. No, I'll have to check that out, I guess.
I highly recommend it.
It kind of sounds to me like the TV show Brimstone.
Well, the comic came out in the 90s, but a lot of stuff has borrowed ideas from it. Like, I know episodes of Supernatural, stuff like that. Like, if you read the comic, you can definitely see a lot of stuff that other TV shows have since borrowed. Like, oh, that's where because the comic is so much more fucked up than they can make the show.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to check it
I don't
out.
know, it's another AMC show. Like, they're knocking it out of the park. Into the Badlands comes back.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that. I'm not sure because Into the Badlands, I think it uses some of the swordplay directors from the Highlander in there. So
It could.
I mean, I saw some of it, but I think it got to a part where they made the main character somebody like supernatural, and they were levitating and flying, and it went from like real physical stuff into real like supernatural stuff, and I think that was like too much of a jump for me.
Character that has some sort of a power.
Yeah, I mean, I think it jumped into something like way too crazy for me, way too fast. I mean, I don't mind that stuff, but it's like if I'm watching a show for like The Walking Dead, like you said, if they go Resident Evil, it's just going to ruin it, because it's like, okay, well, you've watched this for this long, and now we're going from total physical stuff to complete magic,
Yeah, exactly.
But,
that's what I don't want to see. And I know what you mean with Into the Badlands and that thing. I've felt the same way. There was really no need for it. And
Yeah,
I'm kind of,
think...
it's hard to be excited that it's coming back too, because like it's been 2 years, man.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. I didn't think that was going to come back.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But, I heard that there was a possibility of Firefly coming back. I don't know if you remember me posting something like that.
Man, don't you put that evil on me. Don't give me hope.
But they said they had to have Josh Whedon do it. So.
Yeah, Joss Whedon would have to do it, and I don't think he will.
He's kind of a douche for not going back to that. I mean, that was such a good series.
Too late, man. We don't need more.
They could start it like now. It's been like 10 years later. They could start it now and be like, okay, 10 years into the future, like they did with Red Dwarf.
Yeah, but they killed like all the cool characters. There's only like 3 people left.
What are you talking about? They only killed Leaf.
Wash.
Sorry.
They killed Wash. I'm pretty sure Jane died.
No, Jane didn't die.
I don't
It was
remember
just
if
Wash.
Zoe died. Kaylee died.
It was just Wash. Wash is the only one that died. From the movie. They all kind of survived. I don't remember that.
Pretty sure. I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
I haven't watched Serenity in a couple years.
Yeah, we're jumping off topic a little bit, but yeah, I wanted to tell you, it almost sounded like that TV show Brimstone that I saw so long ago. It was back in the 90s. And it was only on for like so many episodes, but basically this Satan lets this person come back from hell to put these other demons back into hell. But the only way he can do is by shooting them in the eyes. And then if he kills like the 113 demons, he'll be granted another life. You know. And I don't know why I liked it so much. Maybe it was just the name. But, I mean, it kind of sounds like with Preacher, it almost sounds like the same thing in a sense. I don't know, but
it's got some similarities, I guess.
I might like it.
Honestly, it sounds more like the Saint of Killers from Preacher. He was an Old West cowboy.
Well, I guess I'll have to check out Preacher, see what that's all about. But yeah, I don't know what else to talk about for The Walking Dead. I mean,
I think we're pretty much wound down. It's been an hour and a half. We don't want to run too long.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty good this season. This season, it's not like my absolute favorite, but at least every episode felt like I wasn't being drawn into the next one. It's like I felt, happy watching the end of it. It's like, good, I got some closure. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, this season's been really good.
Man, I think it's because of the end of the last season where they did that gigantic cliffhanger where it pissed everybody off. And I even told you, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done watching The Walking Dead. I'm never watching it again. This show sucks. They're going to do this shit to me.
I know. So many people had that reaction, too. It was hilarious.
I mean, I was serious about it, too. I'm like, I can't watch it. It was such a cliffhanger that I was thinking, this is just too much. This is way over the top. It's like, they're really, really trying to impress you when they have already impressed you. It just felt like it was not needed at all. And I was like, I kept thinking they were going to kill Rosita there. And then when they come up with the first season, they show all the people getting beat with the bat. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You better not kill her off now. Oh, man. But, yeah, the season's been pretty good.
One of my favorites so far.
I think they're going to finish it here, man. I think they're going to finish it in this season. They're going to take out the, I'm going to call it. They're going to take out
I don't know.
Savior.
I think they got a lot longer. I know they already have the next season planned out.
Yeah, but man, I mean, they have so much to do that comic is still going on. But from what you told me, they're not even that far into the comic.
Oh no, they're way farther than I am.
Oh really? I thought they were like a quarter of the way into the comic with the TV series.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant the other way around.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they have to catch up.
Oh, definitely. They got a long ways to go. There's tons of stuff they can cover because the show's moving way slower. Just because they're adding in all that extra drama.
Yeah. Well, they have to do that.
Yeah.
Some people really like to see all that drama. But yeah, dude. I don't know.
All right. I think
Closing
we're at
thoughts?
a good place.
Yeah. Okay,
So I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. We haven't talked about that yet, so watch Twitter to figure that out, I guess. I'll let anybody who cares know.
We'll figure it out for next week. I think Chaos wanted to talk about getting on young whippersnappers and things like that. So
we'll see. We've done like 10 episodes about that. I might get a veto that one.
I know. We've done that quite. We've beaten that horse.
Yeah, I think another topic similar to this would be good. Some other fandom that more than just me and you enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of TV show or movie.
Anything.
I don't know if you want to.
We'll figure something.
Oh, we could talk about Marvel.
Yeah, everybody watches those.
Or DC.
And I'm gonna watch Doctor Strange this week, so I could talk about that.
How about we talk about which one's better? Or our opinions on which one's better.
On what? Marvel or DC?
DC or Marvel.
I can call that right now. But yeah, we could talk about that next week, definitely. Marvel versus DC face-off.
You think Sauce is into that? Or just anime?
Sal's into that stuff. We've had this conversation before. I think it was on the last episode that we never actually aired.
Well, I'm gonna put that one out once I finally hit the road next month. So that one I'm saving for that day, so I don't have to record anything.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's what I'll save for that. But yeah, I think that'd be interesting because there's a lot. I mean, Wonder Woman. I would like to talk about that.
All right, so there we go. Marvel vs. DC next week.
All right, cool.
We have our topic. But also check us out on the Twitters. I'm the Zodiac. And what yours is at VeracityTrigger?
Yep, that's where it is. So, all right, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching all the way through this. Definitely like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week.